Good afternoon, everybody. I am glad to meet you here in this workshop. And now I am as a second speaker. Before it, Miss Poppy will present first. After that, and it is my time to present my research that I have done. So, in this opportunity, I will share it to the audience, and I hope it will be useful for the teachers to develop their careers. Okay, first of all, I will give the introduction first. The first that I have to say is imparting knowledge and skill from teachers to students is one of the ever difficult processes. It encompasses all the activities and experiences of instruction that have a great effect on shaping learners' mind and characters. I also quote the linguist that is Cohen. It is on 1888, cited in library. Teaching is a practice of human experiment. Teaching is a practice of human improvement. In other words, the teacher plays a significant role in education programs since he leads from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge. For this, the urgent needs for teachers' preparation and education should be focused and highlighted. Teacher education is a plan intended to improve instruction, proficiency, and competence so that he can meet the requirement of these works. In a variety of intimidating conditions that set off unintended risks of will eagerness into the heart of the teaching learning process. Generally speaking, teachers are called up to meet the needs of huge number and diverse types of learners. The current paper thus will tackle the issue of teacher education and more particularly the design of effective workshop to a teacher adopt and adapt certain techniques. In the teaching of the English language, sharing experiences among experts and the field is a cornerstone in any workshop. Yet it still needs further consideration on Algerian ELT, English language teaching landscapes, the way workshops are administered in Mascara, for instance, rely on the linear process where the inspector is the sole director of information being transferred and the interaction as well. This is the traditional procedure that is more useful within the quick changes and the technological improvement that call for a more collaborative and creative atmosphere. We still in this opportunity, in this workshop, try to answer the following research that is come to the audience maybe. The first is, to what extent do the design workshop meet the objective of language teaching of learners, teacher education, thus has to cover teaching as well as professional skill. Teacher training, professional development are imperative objectives in the teacher education process. Training, according to Richard and Farrell in 205, refer to activities directly focused on a teacher's present responsibilities and typically aim at the short-term and immediate goals. Often, it is seen as a preparation for the instruction only, a first teaching position, or as a preparation to take on a new teaching assignment and responsibility. Teacher training calls for urgent consideration of the fundamental concepts and principles as a prerequisites for applying them to teaching and to demonstrate them in the classroom. Teacher training also involves trying out new strategies in the classroom, usually with the supervision and monitoring, and getting feedback from others on one practice. The content of training is usually determined by experts and is often available in standard training formats or through pre-description or methodology books. That is said by the Richard. Yeah. Teacher training is directed toward novice teachers who need additional practice on how to deal with students and the subject matter to be taught. It is mainly restricted to a short period of time when these instructions are evaluated. And then further highlight the goal of training program, which include teaching instruction, how to effectively start a lesson, attaining the different techniques of textbook adaptation to meet student needs, learning how involve student in collaborative works during a course, designing well this structure and focus question, using authentic aids and resources, learning how to assess achievement. Contrary to what been stated, the latter is broader and targeted toward lifelong learning and growth of teacher awareness during the career. Teacher development therefore requires a long journey in the direction of improving such an activity, like maybe teaching, like as Richard and Farah stated, further identify a set of the major goals that might be achieved during the process. This is include to understand the process of foreign language development, it is the first. To identify the various teacher role changing associated with the type of learner in a given context. And then to decide what to do when teaching a particular lesson. Further, to reconsider and or our understanding of principle of language teaching. And then to understand different style of teaching. And the last is to find out how learner perceive the classroom activities. And then we go to types of professional development. Yeah, it is the most thing that teacher must have is a professional development. And then it is a different types of professional development have been identified. And professional development program can be available at the disposal of teachers. In terms of professional development types, Richard and Farrell at 205 differentiate, for instance, between two types of professional development: the individual professional development, and the institutional professional development. It is a type that stated by Richard and Farrell, who identifies 5 major types of teachers' professional development. This well-spread type can be used by teachers in order to improve their teaching and have a continuous professional development in their teaching careers. Okay? And then the last is in-house professional development. This kind of training can be offered at school, each week's uh, okay, maybe I have given long explanation about the effectiveness of the workshops, and then the conclusion. It is time for us to give a conclusion about my presentation here. It is a well-designed professional development, or PD, program serve to extend and promote teacher self-welfare and broaden the improve their teaching practice. However, professional development programs often fail to achieve sustained change in teacher practices and improvement in student learning. The efficacy of teacher training and development is basically built on the effectiveness of workshops. The systematic use of workshops based on computer-mediated communication help avoid the confusion that encounter their value. Mainly, time constraint and lack of effective collaboration and instruction. Because they are required to afford opportunities for lifelong learning and lasting outcomes, workshops have to provide valuable insight as well as the reasonable application to improve the teaching of language, in particular English language teachings. Okay, it is my presentation on this workshop. Maybe it will give an explanation. It will be upgrade the teacher performance in the classroom, and I hope it will be further program, so it will give useful for teachers and will be a grateful development for the teacher. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and then we will go on the next time, the next opportunity and another opportunity to have a workshop together with all teachers. Okay, thank you, see you.